Hello YouTube, this is KillerWarrior21 and I am bringing you a shortened sped up video. So where we left off was the layout of my city, and this is my successful grid design, and so I'm just showing you how to how I do a grid design city. And the idea behind it is micro managing the traffic. Now, like I said in the first video, traffic is the killer of the city, so what I do is I put all my industry up on the top or to the left there, and that's because of the way the wind is blowing. And then I fill in all the roads with residential, and I pick a side, and I just pick to the right of the road. And so this way I have residential buildings everywhere. And this way, on the other side, when I put in more commercials, they don't have to walk. They don't have to drive anywhere, they just walk everywhere. Your Sims just walk everywhere except they drive to work. And most times, work is just across the street for them as well, so that's a good thing. I also put a little bit more industrial zones throughout the left there because of I didn't have enough to support my city. So as you can see, I'm just plopping a whole bunch of commercial zones now, and this is it. This is pretty much it. So I did forget a little section over there to the left for commercial zone, but now everything's building up, and I decided to plop down a coal generating power plant because that is the cheapest high powering plant, and then I just put down a water tower and a sewage pump, and this way everything is good and everyone's happy. So my city's growing, and it's going to take a while for it to go through anything major. I'm going to also be placing my town hall because you need that to build your basic services. So I place it over there to the left. It's just kind of my dump zone, so I decided to put my garbage right next to the power plant, and then I will put the fire department on the cross-section of the two major avenues. And I also will do the police and the clinic in the same fashion. And the way that it's laid out is when the emergency response vehicles go out on the road, they immediately turn right, and then they can make a U-turn or continue to go down the path. This way it's a little bit quicker for them to get around. And that's pretty much it. Then I have a school, and I place bus stops, and I only place a bus stop at the bottom of every intersection, as you can see, and this way it adequately covers even the residents on the side of the road. So with that, I pretty much am done with my Sims, besides little things here and there, and I'll talk about them when they come up. But now it's pretty much the boring part, and this is why I didn't want to do this at normal speed, because I didn't want to really put you guys through it. It's just boring for me. And here's a perfect example. I'm micromanaging how they build in my city, because if I don't, then they'll just be building these like residentials or commercial zones sideways, and that takes up space. I could put at least 2 more commercials in every one of those sideways commercial zones. So, and then here I also have more pumps, and at that point I'm getting a little bugged about the pumps not able to do their job. And then I also get this, classrooms are full, so I just load up the classroom. Or load up the school with classrooms, I mean. So now I'm trying to do another trick to micromanage the placements of the buildings, because you may have noticed when I was placing the zoning, I allowed it to wrap around the corner to fill up that corner, and this way it will fill up the entire area. But with that, when that happens, you will get these buildings building on the side, and so I'm trying to use dirt roads to manage the building, but that didn't work. It works sometimes, but not all the time. So I'm gonna do something different in a second after I decide to just destroy all these dirt roads. So now I'm hunting all the dirt roads down, and I destroy any abandoned buildings I see at the same time. Then I believe I'm going to go in and start dezoning. Or am I just going to keep destroying? I don't remember. I forget. Yep, now I'm dezoning. So as you can see, I'm dezoning the corners to get them to stop building on the sides there, and I'll add those back later when I want to upgrade in density to make sure that I have the full width of the roads, or these little squares that I have populated with a building. But I just go in here and I'm cleaning it up, and that's it. So with that said, this is what I do for a little bit, and I'm getting a little tired of the water not being able to handle itself. So I plop down a Department of Utilities, and I place a sewage and a water pump, a sewage treatment and a water pump station right next to each other, and this way they will, as you may know, the water treatment plant kind of just feeds water into the ground, and the pump station just sucks it up. Because they're in such close proximity, you basically have an infinite water source. So that is good. Good for me, at least. And then I plop down a financial, apartments of finance, and I raise the taxes, and I raise by scaling, and 12% is the highest you can tax your low income people before they start to go bankrupt and get angry. And then it's 11% for your medium and 10% for your high income. Anything above those numbers, they start complaining about high taxes and they start losing money. So that's the highest you can go if you decide to be like one of those worst mayors ever achievement. That's how you do it, is by raising taxes over where they can pay. So I got bugged by this truck. It was just sitting there, and so I was trying to build a road through it and trying to get it done, and I was like, well, you know what, stay there, I don't care. So still just cleaning up the city, and let's see, at one point something really just funny occurs to me, and I see this, but yeah, looking forward to showing other maps, other cities. I'm actually playing on this one region, and I'll show you what I did and the reason why I picked it, because I was just bored one night and I decided to just join somebody else's region, and I found this plot of land and I really enjoyed it. And I became the power of the region. So, and then I decided to take that little mission, and I realized, oh wait, I don't have enough garbage to actually collect garbage. So there's more garbage trucks and an incinerator to actually burn the garbage. And then I'm having a whole bunch of health issues, and I don't know why. because I look at it, and everywhere there's a health issue would be onto the left of the map, so I don't know why there's so many health issues everywhere else. Then I check to see what my output is, and I see that I'm under a lot of RCI demands, and it's basically because of my my industry buildings. I don't have enough of them, essentially. But as you can see, this layout is very successful. I'm already over $1 million, and I have a whole bunch of money just coming in. And as you can see, there's like no traffic whatsoever. So yeah, grid cities are pretty awesome like that. And then I finally see the that one area doesn't have commercial, which is funny because I just end up destroying it anyway. Because I see that I need more industry buildings. So I start placing it, and I'm like, alright, that'll work. And then I was like, no, that won't work. And so I place it, you know, the industry buildings right here. Blow up the existing buildings. And yeah, this is it. This is what I didn't want to show you. This is originally an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm shrinking it down to 30 minutes. So it's basically 2 times speed. I could probably shrink it down again, and you'd get the gist of it. But then I wouldn't be able to talk fast enough to kind of explain why I'm doing things. So 2 times it is, not 4 times. Sorry. So now I'm looking at all my services. I'm seeing that I'm pretty well balanced. I've noticed that I'm having overcrowding issues, so obviously I put a jail down. And I don't know why I have so many criminals, because they're educated, but can't do anything about that. Sims are gonna do whatever they want. Then I start noticing land values and how people were complaining. So now it's just upkeep. Oh, and this one building, this one industry building just wouldn't stop building there, so I did the trick where I built a little dirt road, and then I think it fixed itself. Actually, no, I remember, it kind of bugged out. Same with that one. It's if it was right against the... Oh look, there's an aerial view of my city. And that was just to get rid of the icon just bubble kind of just popping in my face. That was getting annoying. So I just went through all the services that you could volunteer. But let's give you an aerial view, what it looks like. And then I decided to place a Department of Education down. Or did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, Department of Education, and the reason why is I wanted to build this high school because I noticed that I have more people going to school than I can support. And so I did that. And then I noticed those water towers were there, and I was like, I don't need those there anymore because I got the pump station, so that's more residential zoning. And then I get bugged about this not building here, so I start to try to figure out what's going on, and then I notice this little area that's red, and I was like, alright, well, we'll see what happens. And then it fixed itself, so I was like, alright, that's pretty good. So then I tried the same trick over here. And then it didn't work because I didn't allow it to destroy itself properly, and then I get frustrated that it's not building, and I just give up. No, I didn't. I try to keep micromanaging. There we go. Now it worked. I thought I just gave up, but that's okay. And then I tried to place a train station, but I couldn't get the connection, and that was really bugging me. How I couldn't build an additional rail line, and as you can see, it was just being a little glitchy, and I don't know why it was glitching. So I just started trying it from every angle, and finally made one work. And then I connect it by just drawing a little path right there, and now I got a rail station. So, and that's basically, you know, if I was a tourist trap, that would be there for, you know, bringing in a lot of tourists, because a lot of tourists do come over on train. Low and medium wealth tourists come over by train. So, but I'll have that for the other city. So I have a commuter line as well as a tourist trap, but I'm not really concerned about the tourists. And I don't call them tourists, you know, per se. I don't like calling them that. I call them terrorists because they muck up your city. They destroy your city, because what happens is when a tourist comes out off a bus depot or a train station, they will walk. Now, I'm okay with them walking because that's no traffic, but when they go to a commercial building and they buy something, they have one of two choices. Either they can walk back to a depot or a train station, or if they find themselves far away and the city exits would be closer, they will take a cab and drive out. Now, when you have maybe 1,000 tourists, that's not really a problem. But when you get a huge tourist draw and all of a sudden you have 3,000 or 5,000 tourists, and then they start clogging up the road, and it's not good. So I accepted this firework thing thinking that I could do it, but then I noticed a little bug here that if there's a fire on that corner, they can't actually make the U-turn to go around. So I let all the fires get fought, and then I destroy the fire station, and I try to slide it back, hoping that will fix the problem. So I really didn't fix the problem. I'm just trying to see if by replanting it in a different way it will fix it, and so far it looks like it will. Excuse me. So I'm noticing land values again. There's this little concentration of medium wealth, and the only reason it caught my eye was they were complaining about not enough medium wealth shoppers. So I looked to see where the medium wealth commercial zones were, and I actually didn't find any. I saw medium wealth residential zones, but I didn't see any commercial zones. So maybe you guys can see it. I didn't see it, so we'll see. Anyways, back to my terrace. If I was a terrorist trap, I wouldn't mind having 5,000 or more terrorists on the streets, because you know I'm trapping them. So I'd have casinos or landmarks or something along those lines, and then I would also I really have to unbind the snapshot and video recording keys. That's something I think every YouTuber forgets to do. And so, anyways, but when you're not trapping them, or if you are trapping them and you don't have your city laid out very well, and they start taking cabs everywhere, then all of a sudden you have all this influx of traffic at certain times of the day, and if it's during rush hour, and without them, rush hour is not a problem, but then when you add, you know, another 500 to 1,000 cars, then you got, you know, problems. And then I did the road trick here to get my industrial zone space correctly, because that one building was not trying to be space friendly. So, because I was having a big problem, and that's what I don't like, because they made industrial and commercial zones more interdependent, like I said in the first video. But the problem with that is now you have to have like a third of your city like industrial zone in order to be like balanced in the sense. So it's kind of a pain. So here I decided that I wanted to build a university because I wanted to get some of the regional upgrades And in order to do that, I have to have the people go to a university. So we're gonna have that in this city, in Coastal Cove. And now I'm just saying, okay, what kind of layout can I do? And I can't put them in the back, which that sucks bad, big time, because that's just wasted space now. But that's okay. So I put the dorms on the side there, so this way I don't have to worry about the students taking up housing or traveling very far to go to school. Because, like I said, if I can cut down on the people on the road, Sims on the street, then all is good. And then I noticed is that the area back there is kind of polluted, so I didn't want to put a pump to the left of the pumping station, so I put it on the side of the next pump, and I think I'm just going to build that way with my pumps until it becomes a problem. So the first upgrade I get is the School of Engineering, and I normally get this just because I want to support my industry, and that will support medium and low tech industry. It increases their profits. And then when you get the School of Science, you increase the revenue of the high-tech industry. So then I just listen to this guy. He's talking about the solar farm, the regional solar farm, which I'm tempted to get anyway because it provides a lot of power, especially since we only have 2 city plots we're going to be considering powering. So that's another reason why I want to get the School of Science. And the thing about School of Science and School of Engineering is those are the 2 main upgrades or research projects you can do. So another good upgrade would be to get the School of Commerce or Business, whatever it's called. And the reason why is that helps your commercial buildings, especially if you don't have a balanced industry to commercial ratio, because then they can still take that penalty and make up for it by just sales. So if you purposely aren't going to make industry in your city, that's a good way to help offset the problem. And here I built a ferry, and then I was trying to do something clever by building a road around, but I couldn't get it to build. I was trying. And that's one of the depressing things. You can't build a tunnel underneath water, so I just built straight through it, which is a bit of a waste. And then I added, once again, a ferry and a cruise terminal. I don't know why. And then I kind of thought of the idea of like, well, if I wanted to build an airport, what would that be? And I could put it in the back there. But then I decided to go with this airship, and I put the commercial mooring line, or whatever it's called, anchor, because I have that. I have all the DLCs per se, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about the DLCs, and that's fine. Some people say that these DLCs, like, the purpose behind DLCs is companies like EA, they bank on DLCs. I mean, everyone knows this. So, but the purpose of DLC is traditionally is they had an idea or an element of the game that they wanted to implement, but they couldn't because of time restraints or budget restraints or constraints, whatever the term is. I'm pretty sure it's restraints, but or constraints probably would work as well. And they release the game without it, but then the game does so well that they're able to go then back and refine the idea and then implement it in a download. And the only reason why they go back and do it anyway is because now I'm deciding which one I should take out, and I just go sideways on that too. But the only reason why they do a DLC is they find that the game did well, and now they're trying to expand and saying, well, this is what originally we wanted to add to the game, so here's what this is what you were missing. And the only reason why usually it costs money, and the reason why most DLCs cost money is because they're still doing an upgrade for the game, and the game itself has been finished, so they're not getting funding per se by the game being well in cells. So on here I get hit by a tornado and I just go whatever. And I put down the Red Cross Relief Center. Say, alright, whatever. Go in and destroy all the destroyed buildings. It's nothing big. I care less about disasters. Disasters is one of the things that you really don't care about after a point. Like, oh, it's a disaster. Okay, whatever. So that's okay. And here I'm just upgrading all of my my roads that go left to right. And the reason why is that I don't have any buildings on that, and I want to keep this medium density as much as possible. And so I'm just upgrading all my left to right cross sections here. Anyways, but the purpose about DLCs, like I was saying, is they still have to fund it, and when the parent company funds it, so this being EA, and then EA says, all right, well, we funded it, and this is how much we're gonna make it worth. So it's gonna cost you 10 to $20, because that's what most DLCs are about. If it's more than $20, it's not a DLC, it's an expansion. So they should make sure they don't screw that up. So that's why the Cities of Tomorrow is $30. So, but most of the DLCs, especially from EA, is for between like $5 to $10, maybe $15 max. But they're good because DLCs allow you to see what you missed in the developing stages. So I like DLCs for that reason, and I support DLCs in that regard, because there's some games where the DLCs, they really add another level of gameplay, and they kind of draw out the storyline, they give it more depth. So, and then I just completely different topic now that I'm done talking about DLCs. I decided to destroy the elementary school, and the reason why is because I don't want those students to go there. I'd rather them go to a high school and then go to a university, so I get more, university tech. So now I'm just looking over my city. It's pretty much all medium density besides the few high density buildings on the main avenue here, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with. And I'm getting large industries or high density industries, but it is a large industry, really doesn't really matter. And then I get my school of science right there, and then I start looking at what I want to research, and I just decide to go with the first one, which I believe is solar panels. So I'm researching solar panels, and I'm just going to go through it all, because as you can see I have over $4 million, so I can spend money. And you can see, just having medium density, you can keep everything easy to maintain just with medium density, and I have no traffic, as you can see. And I'm trying to figure out this sickness. I really don't understand why I have so many sims, and I just don't get it. That's one thing I'm not getting at this point, but that's okay, I don't care. So everything should be good. I'm just checking out to see what people are going around. I actually noticed this little bug here. This person's been injured forever, and he's not getting picked up. So I was like, whatever, alright. I was just trying to figure it out, but alright. And then I'm checking all my transportation buildings, see what we got. And then I was checking out my tourists, and as you can see, look at the little roving masses just running around, those little terrorists running around, and that's okay. I don't care anymore. My city is well off that their presence isn't going to matter. So that being said and done, who cares? Anyways, so showing you just the little bits and ends here. Just go through all the map points to kind of just check, look at all them happy faces, see if buildings are ready to upgrade in density, and a lot of them are. That's good. So this is where I'm going to end it. Look at all them smiling faces. Everyone's happy. So, this is Kill Warrior 21. Enjoy the smiling faces. See you guys next time. Bye.